Let me see. Oh, I'm live. What's up, Bills fans? St. John Fisher is a wrap. Most abbreviated camp they've had there, probably due to the fact that the facility at One Bills Drive, and plus they're going down to Carolina in a few days. So they want to get down there and get set up there in that damn heat. I'm worried as hell about them going down there because, yo, what's up, dude? What's up, Trevor? Yeah, I'm worried about them going to Carolina after this game, man, because it's just tweaking little things and pulls and strains. I don't want to see Kroom out there. I don't want to see Knox out there. We're definitely not going to see AJ Gaines out there, but they've got to be careful down there, provided they come out of this Colts game unscathed, which I hope. I mean, they've suffered their first injury. I mean, one that we know that nobody's going to, hey, man, what's up, guys? Didn't want to oversaturate, overreact to everything that was happening, even though a lot happened. Unfortunately, they lost Waddle. And as far as injuries go, I mean, it sucks. You don't want to see anybody get hurt, but they're going to happen. These guys can't be wrapped in bubble wrap. I mean, the guy tore his quad. I mean, you can't defend against stuff like this. It's going to happen. And you just hope that it doesn't happen to guys that are on the upper crust of the roster. He was probably going to be the swing tackle, but that's out the window now. But luckily, they do have, a shit ton of roster cuts that are going to come. They have the 9th overall waiver claim, so they're going to be able to get a guy that could come in and play. I mean, Searles is gone already. He hurt his ankle. They've already got him off the roster. Maybe they can re-sign him at some point. I think there's some weird rule. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, that's concerning too. The Morse, I don't know. I hope, again, I don't want to see anybody really worth a shit, anybody worth a damn till the 3rd preseason game. And even then, that whole first half, I'm going to be sitting there, even into the 3rd quarter, I'm going to be sitting there holding my breath. Hopefully nobody gets injured. And I just loathe preseason football, man. I love football, but I did an Instagram story the other day when I was watching the Hall of Fame game. It's just like, as much as I love football, as passionate I am about football, I watch these preseason games, and it's just, what's the fucking point? I mean, these colleges don't even play preseason. I mean, colleges don't even play them. So I'm just like, it's just stupid. And then they want to fleece season ticket holders to make them buy the crap. It's a joke. But back to the Bills. Some positive stuff. It looks like Knox and Kroom were on the uptick. They look like they were moving around a bit. Tommy Sweeney looks like he's just taking his opportunity and run with it, as Knox was doing before, in light of Kroom's hamstring. And Sweeney looks like a guy that, for a 7th round pick might be somebody, but we'll see once the lights are on and there's another team on the other side of the ball. Allen, and this is the thing about Allen, everybody's gonna, say, oh, well, he hasn't been lighting it up in practice. Ed Oliver, there you go. He looks like a guy. Once the pads came on, once he got lathered up, got a little used to things, he started doing what he does and looking like a difference maker, and now he's on that first team defense, and that's going to happen. You even saw Robert Foster make a move in the wide receiver pecking order. Now he's up, running with the 3rd. Was the 3rd wide receiver on the depth chart, and I think that stuff's going to be fluid. John Brown, man, he looks like he's going to be he looks like a guy who's clicking. His game and the way Josh Allen plays are just like peanut butter and jelly. And he's a lot better route runner than, it's crazy the stat that they threw out about his touchdowns coming in the red zone, how he has so many red zone touchdowns, but you would think he's just predominantly a deep ball guy. I remember the deep ball touchdown he caught in the Green Bay, Arizona playoff game, the one where Larry Fitzgerald scored that touchdown late in the game to win in overtime, and he just caught like a fucking he was in the slot too, and he just ran and he just caught. Yeah, there hasn't been much from him, but again, I was going to talk about him. I think guys like him, and even Josh Allen. I'm going to say it about Josh Allen. The structure of practice doesn't suit those guys. It doesn't suit their play style. Those guys are I think they're chaos players. They need to be in the thralls of a game setting with the butts in the seats, the lights on, the adrenaline flowing, the sweat. That's where you're going to see it. I just don't think there's just certain guys that just aren't practice players. There's certain guys, man, we would hear about. How many guys have you heard about in the past lighting it up in practices and these meaningless not saying meaningless, no practice is meaningless, but these training camp practices, you hear reports about other teams. Oh, this guy looks good in the practice. This guy looks good in the practice. And then all of a sudden, what the fuck happened? Why isn't it translating to the game? Oh, the game. The actual game, because there's going to be a ton of shit that happens in a game that you can't plan for, that you can't account for, that it happens. It's a part of the ebb and flow. Guy's going to go down. A play's going to be broken. Somebody's going to fuck up an assignment. That's just what happens. And certain guys just thrive. Bruce Smith was one of those guys. Fucking guy hated practice. He would loaf in practice. He would find little excuses to not practice. That's just, and I believe that there's practice. Yeah, Peterman was a guy. There was just guys. Des Lewis was once the pads came on, Des Lewis was, what's up, Rick? How you doing, bro? It was just certain guys that just practice suits them. There's no real pass rush. There's no, there's no chances of certain things happening. There's no real game planning. They're working on stuff. They're not really keyed in. You don't have your game plan where, you just got segments. Well, we're in red zone. We're in 2 minute. We're in 4 minute offense. Different situations. That's just what it is. I just think John Elway. I remember John Elway, and he was I use him as an example because he's the quarterback that physically reminds me of EJ. Yeah, Golden Girls, bro, and it's pink. He physically reminds me of Josh Allen the most. Josh is a little bit bigger, but in terms of their play style, scramble, crazy arm, ridiculous arm. When he first got with Mike Shanahan in '95, there was talk like, he has a hard time picking up this West Coast offense. And we're talking about a guy who was 12, 13 years into his career. He was having a hard time because the West Coast offense is structured. It's timing, it's rhythm, it's drops synced up with routes. It's 3-step, just the routes are boom. It's just very synchronized. It's very rhythmic. It's timing based. John was not that kind of quarterback. John was like, hey, I'm going to drop back and see what I like. And then I'm going to improv if I don't like it. That's just the way he was. Yeah, that starts in 20 minutes. I'm probably going to drop off of here when that starts because I want to see it. Or you know what? We could watch the first 10 minutes together if you guys want. Yeah, hopefully I'm going to be going there too, man. I think I'm going to go. Yeah, I went there. Real nice city, Rick. You're going to like it. Real nice. You've probably been there before. Wasn't Elway? Nah, Elway was, for the time, Elway was, everybody knew Elway was going to be the first overall pick in '83, in '81 and '82, basically. That's the kind of, think of Andrew Luck. You knew who about Andrew Luck a year and a half before. Trevor Lawrence now, about him a year and a half, 2 years before. That's the way John Elway was back then. You knew about him well before. But I just, that's my opinion on Josh. So when I hear Josh, like, in and out of practice, like, and I just think that those are the wow plays that he has, or those are the game winners. Those are the ones that we couldn't get from Bills quarterbacks of the past. The chances that he's willing to take, the chances that he's going to be able to hit on, because one, unwilling, two, unable. And I think those are going to be the difference in games that they win. Yeah. And that was back then. But those things, then I think he threw 44 the next year, and then, there's a downtick. That's why I think, Mahomes is probably due to have a drop off in his touchdown production. Probably, anywhere between 10 to 15 less. That's just kind of what happens to quarterbacks that throw for 50 touchdowns. It's only happened 4 times, and then they take a pretty decent drop. I mean, 10 touchdowns for a Bills quarterback, that's a lot. Let's hope we get more than that. He was out there. He didn't have a helmet on, but he was just snapping the ball to Josh and working with the training staff and stuff. So he's moving around. I think that means he's in like the last stage of the concussion protocol. If he's actually out on the field with the team doing stuff, even though he's not in pads and a helmet, because they can't do that stuff. But he was out there taking snaps. Yeah, I mean, I'm not concerned yet. Now, if we're talking about week 3 of the preseason and Morris is still in concussion protocol, or they suffer another injury, and I like what they did. This past week. They brought in Secchi, put him at right tackle, put Ford at the guard, and maybe that's because of the injuries. They seem dead set on having Spencer Long and Feliciano be the swing interior lineman, backup center. Bodine is just, a guy right now just there for reps. They're probably going to release him. I have no clue, man. I have no clue what happened. That there was another guy that happened to in the league. I forget which team. I saw he was in concussion protocol. Like I was just like, how do you suffer a concussion? At this stage, it just was weird to me. But you never know. I don't. I'm not a doctor or an expert on concussions. But he does need reps and he does need to be in there. And thankfully he's a veteran. Well, he got kneed in the head in Washington. I remember how he got that, and that was it. That was it for him. He fell off of a scramble, and the linebacker jumped over him, and bam, knee in the head, and he was done. That was the last play of his career. I think him slipping on the mat and hurting his knee, like, I forget when he did that. He just slipped, and his Bills career was cursed from the word go. I swear, it was absolutely cursed. The starter who never started. It's probably the most talented quarterback they had on the roster, actually, that whole time period. Yeah, like walking to practice, he slipped and fell. That's exactly what he did. Unbelievable. That's like Carl Pavano covering first for the Yankees and ripping his glute. He just tore his whole ass muscle. Just ripped it. Didn't pitch again that whole year. Unbelievable. What a waste. I don't know. I think they're gonna gradually find ways to get out of there. I know it's Kim Bagula's alma mater or something like that, and yeah, the defense is the defense, man. Kurt Coleman looks like he just come in and just does what he does. The fact that EJ Gaines suffered an injury yesterday does not shock me, because his history tells you he's gonna get injured. But it's the time where if a guy is hurt, you can kind of like, hell, there's not a game for a month and a week, so we're good. At least I feel like every team, and that's the way I compartmentalize this. I don't know if you guys do it too. Just go around the league. There's tons of guys sitting out. There's tons of guys, missing reps for other teams. I'm not saying I want to see that for the Bills. You want to see that for the Bills. I'm just trying to find a silver lining. The Colts right now with Andrew Luck, you don't think their fans are concerned? The calf that was bothering him in April is still bothering him now. He's not even practicing. That's kind of a crazy thing that's happening. And Talkman just made a crazy catch in the Yankee game to rob a guy of a home run. Holy shit, that was amazing. Wow. Yeah, man. If Oliver is that guy, man, I'm not saying he's Aaron Donald. If he's even some of John Randall to start with, because he's young, he's a baby, And the fact that Kyle Williams was just there working exclusively with him is that's something that Bills fans wanted in the past, I guess, from other regimes, but they just didn't have anything to do with ex-Bills players in that regard. I know they used Jim Kelly as a liaison, as kind of a spokesman for the team, but having Kyle Williams at a practice, just coaching up Oliver, having Daryl Talley come in and just be around Tremaine Edmonds, that's McDermott's not threatened by that. Like, he's not those guys from the past where they're so insecure they have to have all omnipotent power and be afraid of some guys coming in and speaking their minds. Maybe they're teaching him a little something, but there've been players in the league, that they can impart a lot of knowledge, at least in my opinion. Yeah, he was very, yeah, he looked like he was really in him. And then the fact Oliver said the day before that he was unhappy with the way he was practicing and he didn't like the way things went in practice and he was upset that he felt like this kid, I think he really wants it. He wants to be great. And I believe that we're going to see some things from him that we haven't seen from a Bills defensive lineman in a long time. And even Kyle says it's like, this guy is so much more physically talented than he ever was. And Kyle just got by with smarts and toughness and heart and work ethic, and he's, is who he is for a reason. One of the most revered Bills in this era, that's for sure. But that's the crazy part, is the defense is just kind of like, we know this defense, above all else, is going to show up. We know this defense might have a rocky, few quarters or game, but for a 16-game body of work, it's going to be there. It's this offense that needs to start, pulling its weight. This offense needs to score a minimum of a three. I put the number minimum 375. And I'm taking into account Bills history, where they've been as an offense in the last 3-4 years, all the moving parts, still just a second-year quarterback with only 11 starts. I think that's an easy ask. Easy, but I think it's doable. I think 375 plus is doable. Then I also got to remember, I'll tell some of you guys, this organization has only scored like 400 points of offense, I think 5 times in its history. Like 4 or 5 times. It's not a lot. It hasn't scored over 400, only 400 plus points 5 or 6 times. That's nothing. That is nothing when you go look at the more upper echelon offenses organizationally, the Patriots and the Saints and the Rams and certain other teams, and you see 500 points, but you see just multiples, and that's just not good enough. Oh, I want to see it. I don't know if it's changes to the playbook. I just want to see with better players within that playbook. How about that, Snarl? Like, better players running those plays, more talented players, more capable players, a little bit more seasoned Josh Allen, a bit better offensive line, maybe more coached up. How about that? Because we got to remember too that the defense, the offense goes against is good. And we always know how it starts. The offense is always behind defense, and this defense is the number 2 defense in the NFL. I think he's going to be back. I think they'll both be back for the 3rd preseason game, because I know they were with the trainers today. They were with the trainers today on the field, and it was their first day out there with them. So I think Knox and Kroom will be back probably by the 3rd preseason game. But I'm excited for Sweeney. I'm excited for him. I'm thinking about the guys who are there. I'm really excited. Like, you're hearing really good things about him. And he looked like a guy maybe that was on the outside looking in. Now he looks like a guy who's firmly going to be here. And I don't think that Tyler Kroft will be on this roster on the 53-man to start the season. I think he'll start the season on PUP. And if they're just rolling throughout the season with Kroom and with Knox, Sweeney and stuff, they're just going to leave him there. They're just revert him to IR. They'll revert him to IR. They don't even need him. I think they'll start Ford at right tackle. And the only reason I think they'll do it is because they probably like their depth better at interior than they do at tackle right now because of Waddle's injury. They'll say Nseki's more valuable to us as the swing tackle, and he'll be up on game day. They could always kick forward into guard, but the way I look at their line right now, it's going to be Dawkins, Spain, Morse. Um, it's a toss up between Long and Feliciano at right guard and Ford, and then whoever's not, whether it's Ford or whether it's Long or Feliciano, and then Nsekhe, that's going to be the 7 game day lineman. I think. I don't know, man, but it sucks to lose linemen. That's 2 linemen that they've lost now. But again, they signed some journeyman younger guy today. I mean, he's just there to play in these preseason games. Really, that's what he's there for. Jaron Jones. He's not there to. I don't think he's going to be challenging anybody or taking anybody's spot. I think the only time they might sign a lineman or be able to get a lineman of any quality will be when roster cut down happens, and maybe after week 1, so you don't have to guarantee a vested veteran salary after week 1, because if he starts the season on your roster, then his salary is guaranteed for the whole season, and teams generally tend to wait till after week 1 to do that. So I think that's when they'll, if they need one. Hopefully they don't. Hey, what's up, Mike? How you doing, bro? Yeah, I talked about that stuff. I just don't. I said that I just don't feel Allen's ever gonna be that practice guy. Like, he's going to thrive in the practice setting. Like, he's gonna have, solid practices. I would say he's inconsistent up and down. I wouldn't say that he's been like EJ Manuel and accurate, not even close. That's a whole different level of suck. That's, and I was using examples like Peterman was exceptional in practice, and what did that matter? What did that stand for? That meant nothing. So I just don't think the structure of a practice is ever going to suit Josh Allen's game. It just never will. There's just certain guys that just it's not tailored to who he is as a player. I heard, and I've heard he's getting the ball out well. I've heard he's getting the ball out fast. I've heard, he's making more decisive decisions. So I've heard, ups and downs. As long as he's out there getting reps and working, and that's all I care about, honestly, because I feel like he's going to show up on game day and give it his all. Again, Tom Brady took a step back in his second year as a starter. They didn't even make the playoffs. They put a whole bunch more on his plate. They had him throw like 600 times. They went 9-7, didn't make the playoffs. And you know what they did that offseason? They traded a first-round pick for a running back, and they started running the ball again. And they cut his pass attempts down. They started being more balanced as an offense because they saw, look, we still have to be defensive-oriented. We still feel our quarterback is good, but he needs balance right now. It's not till, Brady had won 3 Super Bowls, but the team was a lot more balanced. He would do his comebacks and play clutch and all, but he didn't start ripping it up till 07, and that's when you saw like the numbers go through the roof. Of course, I would tell all you guys, like you young Bills fans, and most of all of you are young Bills fans. Only Rick and Los, when he's in here, there's only so few older Bills fans like myself. You young guys who latched on and became fans and stayed being Bills fans, I give you guys all the fucking credit in the world, because I don't know how you did it. Man, I give you more props. You guys, you younger Bills fans, more props than anything, because I don't know how you did it, man. Because you latched on to shit, and you stayed on shit, and you haven't moved off shit at all. And that's a testament, because it's easy for a young cat to bail on a team and be like, hey, fuck this, I'm going to go root for a better team. Nah, you stuck with it, man. And I give young Bills fans all the credit in the world, all the respect in the world. Yeah, thanks. That's a second compliment. course it has, Trevor. I mean, it's been tough to watch for me, but for younger guys who have seen no success, it's like, man, it's like, what the fuck? When am I going to see something? And you start thinking about, it's like for me, the way I keep myself balanced is like if I go to the gym, I'm like, if I don't work hard, if I don't work out hard and I don't sweat, and like, how do I expect the football team I root for to work out hard and want to win if I don't want to do the same? That's the way I get through my workouts, to be honest with you. It's kind of corny, but it motivates me to keep going. A parade of ass clowns. Yeah, yeah, it's like I think they do I think they do 2 or 3 practices and then they have the game all in. And I'm just worried about the heat down there. I'm just worried about them getting fucked up down there somehow in terms of, just the heat, man. It's so fucking hot down there. It is disgusting. So yeah, I mean, you were scarred from birth, Matthew. Oh yeah, she gave up. Well, hopefully she comes back, dude. Hopefully she comes back. Hopefully a lot of Bills fans will come back. And you know what? Well, I hate to say this, but it's the truth. We'll always know the Bills have made it when they have fake fans, man. When the Bills have fake fans, we'll know that they're good. And I know that it's shitty to hear that. And it's like a lot of the Patriot fans who are fake and frauds. Once the killer bees go, they're gonna go with them, man. Yeah, it's gonna be 100 plus with the humidity out off the fucking sun, and I'm just afraid, guys. I just really hope they're very, very smart, and I'm pretty sure they'll be as smart. But this can't. It's the soft tissue shit I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about. As somebody who you people who follow me on Instagram and know like I work out every day as pretty as much as I can, and you have to be on top of yourself in humid, and it's a lot more humid there than it is in New Jersey where I'm at. All right, bro, do your thing, man. Anybody, if you watch for 5 minutes, 2 seconds, I appreciate it. Never apologize. Never say you got to dip. If you got to go, you got to go. Never explain yourselves to me, guys. You know what I mean? It's going to be here in perpetuity. I leave it open for comments. I leave it open for all criticism. I don't delete them. I'm not afraid of it. When I started doing these things, I realized right off the rip I was gonna get some honk, and that's when I was doing MMA vids, and those were way more critical, man. You should have seen the comments I used to get on those fucking things. People used to really, really fucking destroy me, but it's all right, because I put my face to things. It's easy to talk shit behind a faceless profile. Past few days, to the city or for college visits. Oh, okay. You went over here. Yeah, it's overwhelming, dude. If you were over here, if you went, if I don't know which colleges you were visiting in NYC, but it New York City is overwhelming. It's overwhelming. I mean, the Bills are going to be here for 2 weeks in a row to open the season, so it's kind of ironic that we're talking about this because they're going to be in my home state to open the year, and I hope that my home state and me treat them well and they leave this state 2-0 after it's all said and done and go open up at home in Buffalo and win it there. No, I believe every time I see that team take the field, they can win a game. I never ever have a defeatist attitude and be like, nah, fuck that shit. I hate that shit. Am I realistic in my mind? I try to be even keel, yes, but I always feel like, you know what? They're human. That other team is human. Go out there and try to win. I mean, look at the Vikings game. They were left for dead, and they went out there and they bitch rolled them. So I'm about to put on Hard Knocks and see what happens here because I live for any type of football I can get. I'm about to record it too. I'm just going to throw it on. Just stick with me, guys. All right, I got it. The beauties of technology. If they want to wear those all black jerseys in this heat, go right ahead, because I'm all for them wearing all whites as much as possible, especially in this heat. Why do you think Miami makes their other teams wear their colors at home? Because just that color jersey, it absorbs that shit matters. I don't know what the hell they just showed, man. Antonio, I mean, they're just showing a preview to a show right now before they start it. But we'll see what this is like. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm all about blue on white or white on white, whatever combination. I just hate white on blue. I hate white jerseys with blue pants, and I'm not a fan of the blue on blue either. I'm not a real big fan of that either. I'm a traditionalist. I'm like, you either get the white on white or you get the blue on white. That's it. Call me corny, but that's just me. I'm not trying to be like an old curmudgeon. Yeah, I'd like to see a variation of the red helmet, or even if they redesign it a little bit, tweak it a little bit. I miss the red helmet. Everybody has a white helmet in the fucking division. Well, the Jets have a green helmet again. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna jump off here. It's 10. I just wanted to shoot the shit with you a little bit. The white helmet is nice too. It's clean, but again, Eric, you got to remember, you lived a lot more with the shitty Donahoe jerseys. They're all jacked up, like dark ass blue, the saber dark blue with the white. The what was that thing that had like a red patch here? The Reebok ones, they were hideous. Do I think it's an advantage when it's damn hot? Yeah, I'd rather wear white. I would rather wear white than shit. If I wear a black t-shirt at the gym, which I rarely ever do, I feel it. I sweat like a slob as opposed to something light. Yeah, they were hideous. They were the most disgusting jerseys ever. The only time I liked the jersey is when they wore the throwback, the 60s throwback from the 64, 65 championship years with the standing buffalo. It's the only time I even like, oh, what a nice uniform. And then they would go back to the garbage that they were wear. Yeah, is that what it was called? The armpit stain jerseys? They were just terrible. They had like the silver. It was just a mess. It was a hot mess. Those jerseys were just hot garbage. So yeah, the jerseys they have now, I like. I mean, the uni as a whole, I love. But I mean, I guess I'm just being like remembering when they were good for me and they had the red helmet and all that stuff. I'm just being nostalgic about it. Dude, as long as they fucking win. If they want to win in white helmets, then win. That's all I care about, man. Nah. Yeah, pink alternate. I don't think that'll ever happen. I mean, look at me. Nah, this isn't pink. This is coral. All right, guys. I'm going to jump off here. You have a great one. I'll talk to you. Go Bills. See what pops off. I'm probably going to do one on Thursday, right after the game. How about that? Right after the game on Thursday, I'm going to do one. So I'll see you guys then. I look forward to it. Can't wait. Go Bills. And yeah, it should be fun. Take care, guys.